don't like getting into those discussions. But sometimes I do that. Sometimes I don't reveal who my moderator is because I don't like being pulled in certain discussions. And I don't like the back and forth between what's going on right now with Walatu Faqih and the non-Walatu Faqih folks. I don't like having to debate that stuff and get involved with that. But that's a reality. But at least we're going to educate you to a point here, inshallah, where when you make your choice on who you want to be your marja, that you'll make a good, solid choice for you and your family. All right? You ready? Is the Adhan get called?
Yeah.
Are we there?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I got you. All right. So let's go ahead and close out with us. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. Wal asr. Innal insana lafi khusr. Illa alladhina amanu wa amilu salihat. Wa tawassaw bil haqq wa tawassaw bis sabr. Salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali.
Do we have to give him the same etiquettes and stuff we have to give?
I won't. I'm gonna tell you now, I won't, because I've seen some pretty bad ones, and I'm not gonna give it to him. I'm gonna shut him straight down. So I would say that no, we shouldn't. And I would say that as people in the West, that we have to be free thinkers, and we have to choose our scholars very, 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 very wisely. Because there are people out there who have all types of agendas, and we have to make sure that we don't just get co-opted from what it is we know we need to be dealing in the West with, and get co-opted, following behind the ulama, supposed ulama, and then we ourselves are pulled into these different ways of thinking and pulled into these co-opted programs of others. So I say take your time on that. We should have halakas about that. We should actually have a series of halakas dealing with who are we comfortable with saying are going to be the scholars that we look to. Amongst the Khoja Shias, Khojas out of East Africa, out of Kenya, the Indians that live over there, they have controlled that in their community for a long time, and they've got a very good result. We should be like the Khojas. I always tell people they're a good example to follow for us here in the West. You want to make sure that the people you refer to are people who are going to give you what you need in the hellhole that we live here in the West. Some of the ulama give fatwa that do not make any kind of sense for us over here in the West. So we have to be able to say that, we got to say that, 10 toes down, flat-footed, and make sure that whoever we choose as our ulama, they have a damn near perfect understanding of our culture before we just gobble down somebody and say, well, I'm just following this guy. This guy, yeah, he's my scholar. That's my model, Jeff. And you know nothing about these people. So when you have a bad one, people can be bad for you that might be good for everybody else. That's the point of it.
That's what's right. Like.
So now for that, and in that regard, no, you respect them because they're scholars of their own right and for their own people, for their own situation. So we don't look down on them. No, we celebrate them. So that's a good scholar, but he's good for them.
So how do we differentiate if it's just our personal opinion on them? Like, because sometimes they might be influenced, whatever.
Doing this right here.
Okay.
Doing this right here. This is why, for years, I pained for our community. Because I didn't want to see the retardation that I'm seeing in the community now. When we first got this building, I sat right here in this room and watched people at that sink not doing wudu properly. And it really broke my heart. That's what I didn't want. We've been here too long now as a group to have adults not knowing how to do their wudu properly. So that means if you don't have your wudu according strictly to the sunnah of the Prophet, and of course Allah is merciful, right? But going strictly by the sunnah of the Prophet, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, no wudu, no istinja, no wudu. No wudu, no salah. You see? That's what wudu means. So I was in a room one time, not the room, I was actually on my job. And a person came on my job one time, a Muslim for years, and we started to talk about istinja, me and Musa. Musa and I were talking about istinja. And the guy said, well, what is that? I'm like, what? And this man was Muslim for years, and yet he did not know about istinja properly. Like, wow, come on now. This is getting too serious. So that is a form of retardation. So the reason, one of the things that I wanted for us years ago that pained me that we didn't get to is continuing to having these type of halakas. You gotta have these classes. You have to. We gotta learn how to get along enough for you to sit down and listen to somebody who has some type of clerical training to be able to teach the fiqh of your religion. So that when you step off, now you can see a scholar that's a good scholar, and then you can see a scholar that's a bad scholar. Or you can see a scholar that's good for somebody else. He might be real good for people in the East, or the Indians, or the Bangladeshis, or the Iraqis, or the Iranis. Real good for them, because he has, like, he lived in that area, and he can give them what they need. But that same scholar's fatwa in the West, it could be something that could be really harmful for us. Or we could follow behind people who have those particular type of fatwa, and then you end up doing things that you don't need to do. We have inheritance issues. I speak to Shaykh Fawzi. We were dealing with inheritance. One of the scholars told me, straight down the middle, boom, you cannot do this with your inheritance. That's what he told me. So now I got an old man who has a deadly disease, who knows he's about to go to the other side, right? He's about to transition. He's trying to get his inheritance together for his people. So when he came to me and said, hey man, I need you to help me get my will together. And I started to help him with his will, and I'm going step by step about what I learned from housing. So we got to one item, which I won't mention, and it was sticky. It was like, ooh, I don't know, let me talk to Shaykh Fawzi. So when I went to Shaykh Fawzi to speak about it, Shaykh Fawzi said, oh, no, you got some leeway. Yeah, let me, this is how you handle it. So if I had not went to Shaykh Fawzi, and I stuck straight to what it was that came out of Iraq, and followed the Mahajir advice from Iraq. If I had done that, I would have cheated this man's children of certain positive inheritance. So that's why we have to have an understanding, people have to have an understanding of us in the West. You follow me? So that's how. So these halakas are how we get there, brother. It's a step-by-step process. You can't rush it. There's no need to rush it. But you got to get to a point where you're solid in your fiqh. And once you get solid in your fiqh, your eyes get sharper. And then you'll be able to see a little sharp, more sharply about some of these issues. So when some Ahmadiyya comes through, like in the past, we don't have one or two brothers or a couple leave our set and they become Ahmadiyya. Or when some Qur'anists come into our set, start telling us, oh, we don't need a hadith. Where they got that from? You ain't got to follow that. Now you got 3, 4, 5 Shia brothers leaving, following behind this person saying they're Qur'anists now. Or if they don't leave, they give brothers like me a problem, because from here on out, I got to keep correcting them from coming in the masjid, coming around the Muslims, telling us, hey, you know what? Guess what? Hey man, you ain't got to follow hadith like that. And they keep trying to spread it amongst our ranks, right? So that's why we need to continue to do exactly what we're doing here. Sallallahu Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Allahumma sallallahu Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. No, come on, bring it on.
So, seeing that I'm pick a mod, right? Is it wrong for me to say, okay, I'm gonna use Mulana Fawzi as my go-to guy?
Sure, you should. Look, if you go to Shaykh Fawzi, as far as Metro Atlanta is concerned, that's creme de la creme, period. No doubt about it. So, now even with Shaykh Fawzi and myself, we will have some disagreements, because we have disagreements. And the disagreements that I have with Shaykh Fawzi, I'm measured, because I understand that he's my scholar, right? So I'm measured, but there are things that I have done my own studies with, my own studies through time, and that I may not agree with him, and you may benefit more from me than him, because me and you come with the same tribe. You see?
But in regards to Shaykh Aqil, because
Wa alaikum salam.
wouldn't you want to pick a Maja that's kind of well-versed, kind of diversity-wise in regards to what our people know, history? I mean, and I don't know if there's Majas like that with history.
There are.
Okay.
Fadullah. That's why one of the reasons why I call it Fadullah.
Okay.
Because I find him to be very worldly. He has a scholarship, but he was, because of course he's passed now, he's also very worldly. Another person, Ayatollah Khamenei, because he actually is a functioning model of running a country, right? So he's met every day with all types of problems that he has to solve, right? So he's also a good person like that to use.
Okay.
So yeah, so these are the halakas that we need to have. We need to have these discussions on and off until we kind of get comfortable, and then you guys can kind of have a better way of choosing who your moderator should be, right? And I would say that for all circumstances and everything, you don't need them. Sometimes they're basic things that we can figure out. But sometimes, subhanAllah, you gotta have it. You gotta have that moderator, because if you don't, you're gonna go right off a cliff. You gotta have them scholars.
What about brothers asking, like, who is your man?
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, if you got the guys from the Middle East asking you that, the guys from Iran will be asking you that.
Yeah, you don't have to answer.
And it's kind of like, you know,
That's right.